Britain's latest generation of high-speed train often comes under a lot of criticism, and rightly so, with terrible interiors and a seriously rough ride. But this brand new variant aims to finally improve this much-hated fleet. Today, I'm travelling with Avanti West Coast on one of their shiny Class 805 Evero trains. But will this train finally provide the good experience that passengers deserve? Join me on a journey from Birmingham to London as I find out. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here in Birmingham in the West Midlands and I'm going to be travelling with Avanti West Coast down to London Euston. For this trip I'm one of their brand new Class 805 Hitachi trains. These Hitachi trains don't have the best reputation in the UK, so I'm looking forward to seeing if this one's any better. Let's go! Today's UK railway journey begins just outside of Birmingham New Street, in the heart of the city. This is the biggest and busiest of the city's three main stations, seeing around 100,000 daily passengers. It first opened in 1854 as an impressive structure with a large train shed above the platforms. However, subsequent rebuilds in the 1960s and 2010s resulted in the current building you see today. Glitzy, but in my opinion, pretty ugly. Heading inside, we're met with a modern interior, with the ceiling above featuring a wave pattern. As a major station, there are plenty of places to grab a bite to eat, including all the usual restaurants and shops. And that includes a branch of the UK's famous Wetherspoons pub, the London and North Western. The station is also home to the Grand Central Shopping Centre, acting as an open space, in contrast to the rest of the station. This also features Ozzy the Bull, mascot of the 2022 Commonwealth Games, held right here in Birmingham. There's also some ticket machines dotted around the station, as well as a small ticket office. But I already booked my ticket online, so let's head down to the platforms and see what this new high-speed train is like. My train today will be the 10:21 service to London Euston, operated by Avanti West Coast and departing from Platform 7. Like many major stations in the UK, the platforms are behind a gate line. And as often happens, my valid ticket did not let me through, meaning I had to seek assistance from staff. I have no idea why this happens so often. Let me know in the comments if you know why. The platforms here in Birmingham New Street are pretty miserable, to be honest. They're dark, dingy and poorly ventilated. Most of your time waiting here will be spent listening to the deafening extractor fans. That's right, a large portion of trains here still run on diesel. The station sees frequent services from 4 different companies, each one contracted to serve their own routes. The first is West Midlands Trains, operating local commuter service around Birmingham, as well as the slow train down to London. Cross Country operate long-distance trains, connecting Scotland with the southwest, as well as a few regional services in the area, an operator perhaps best known for their overcrowding. There's also Transport for Wales, connecting Birmingham with North Wales and the Cambrian coast. And finally, Avanti West Coast, the operator of my train today, running high-speed services from London to Birmingham, Manchester and Scotland, making them a pretty important operator. Most of their services are operated by these slick, tilting Pendolino trains. However, they've recently introduced a brand new high-speed train from Hitachi that we'll be trying out today. Or maybe not, as my 10:21 service has been cancelled.
That's the 10:21 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston. I am sorry to announce this service has now been cancelled. This is due to shortage of available train.
Well, I guess this gives me a good chance to point out that one of the main passenger complaints about Avanti West Coast is their poor reliability. Luckily, I received a message from a friend who told me that the 11:21, an hour later, should also be one of the new Hitachi trains. At least, that is, if it's not cancelled too. But sure enough, my Class 805 Evero unit finally pulls into the platform. These new 5-car trains were built by Hitachi and introduced in mid-2024, replacing the old diesel-powered Voyager trains. Now, these Hitachi trains have already received a lot of hate in the past, thanks to rock-hard seating, a viciously rough ride, and painfully bright lighting. So I was keen to see if this one was any different. Standard class is in a regular 2+2 layout, with a good mix of airline style and table seating. Best of all, nearly every single seat has a window view. I'm travelling in Coach C, seat 16. This is a forward-facing window seat. And before you ask, no, I have no idea why the reservation screens are just flashing random colours instead of showing the seat reservations. Today's route heads east out of Birmingham, before running along the southern section of the busy West Coast main line for a speedy trip down to London Euston. Journey time is scheduled to be 1 hour 33 minutes, covering 113 miles or about 182 kilometres. Departure from Birmingham is on time, at least by this train schedule, and we pull out at 11:21. One of the first things visible after leaving the station is a major construction site. This is the location of the new Birmingham Curzon Street station, serving the new HS2 dedicated high-speed line, with construction well underway. So now for the big question. How is the interior on these Class 805 trains? These units finally feature a new seat design. They're still fairly firm seats, with little in the way of padding, though it is a noticeable improvement. The ergonomic shape is also vastly superior. They feature a winged headrest, further adding to the comfort. Though note that the base is strongly angled. Not a problem for me, but worth a mention. Between seats is a narrow armrest. It's very small, but better than nothing. Legroom is fine, there was plenty of space to relax and work without being anything special. The seat in front features a folding table. This can be extended by pulling on it, resulting in a fairly decently sized workspace. Reading lights are available, though not in the usual locations. On this train, they are found on the seat in front. Down here are the power sockets. Each pair of seats gets one UK 3-pin and 2 USB ports. Back outside, we're slowing for our first station, Birmingham International. This station serves as the interchange for Birmingham Airport, accessible by People Mover shuttle, as well as the Birmingham NEC Exhibition Centre. Only a few minutes later, we arrive into Coventry, which recently benefited from a new station building. Coventry is probably best known in recent years for being home to the Very Light Rail project, a low-cost, battery-powered tram system opening soon. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on this. Our journey to London continues as we speed towards Rugby Trent Valley Junction. These Class 805 units are capable of 125 miles an hour in service, where line speeds permit. However, unlike the other trains in Avanti West Coast's fleet, including the ones these replaced, these Hitachi trains do not tilt, meaning these trains are sometimes subject to lower speed limits. This section is authorised for 125 miles an hour, but our train is only going 100 miles an hour. Work is underway to increase these speeds on some sections though, which when paired with powerful acceleration results in similar journey times. Not long later, we come flying over the Trent Valley section of the West Coast Main Line, and shortly after pull into our next stop, Rugby. We'll now run fast to Milton Keynes Central, providing a great opportunity to look around the rest of our train, including taking a quick look at first class. Toilets are found at the ends of carriages, though be warned, these are pretty small. As a new train, these were all kept clean. However, the soap dispenser was broken. But at least the water and hand dryer were working fine. At the very rear is first class, also home to an accessible toilet and one of the train's 2 wheelchair spaces. First class is in a 2+1 layout and includes a free meal and drinks. I've actually heard a lot of complaints about first class, with many people saying it's too basic. Let me know in the comments what you think. These trains also feature a small buffet counter, situated in the middle of the train. There's a decent selection of light snacks on offer here, though nothing more substantial for longer journeys. And something I thought was very cool, the train's drinking water dispenser. Not a common feature here in the UK. I purchased a hot chocolate and a lemon drizzle flapjack for a total of £4. We're now on the approach to Milton Keynes Central. Milton Keynes is one of the UK's new towns, with a population of over 250,000. It was founded in the 1960s and awarded official city status in 2022. Nowadays, it's a popular residence for commuters into London. From 2026, Milton Keynes will see a new service, with Chiltern Railways operating Class 196 units to Oxford on the new East-West rail line. It's always great to see more regional services, like this one, being introduced.
Welcome aboard this Avanti West Coast service to London Euston.
As we speed south on the last leg of the journey, we pass Bletchley and its new flyover, also part of the East-West Rail project. These Class 805 trains are well provisioned when it comes to luggage. There are sizable overhead luggage racks, capable of fitting larger bags. But each end of the carriage also has 1 or 2 luggage stacks for those heavier items. There are also these bike storage areas, a common cause of complaint due to their small size making it challenging to use. Coat hooks can be found between the windows. There are also adjustable sunblinds, as shown here. These trains are also fitted with free Wi-Fi, which also features an at-seat ordering system, though I prefer to visit the buffet counter personally. Unfortunately though, I couldn't get my connection to work. One of the biggest complaints about the older generation of Hitachi trains was the harsh and unpleasant lighting. Well, it seems this has finally been improved, with a much warmer tone being used, though I do need to take a trip during the night to confirm this. However, what definitely hasn't been improved is the ride quality. These trains do not offer the same smooth trip that you'd expect on other trains, including Avanti's much older Pendolino trains. And surely I can't be the only one who thinks that these white headrests are going to get dirty very quickly. Things down here on the southernmost section of the West Coast main line are a little bit congested, with many long-distance and commuter trains making their way in and out of the capital. And sure enough, we have to make an unscheduled stop due to a hold-up on the train in front of us. But after just a few minutes of delay, we arrive at Watford Junction, the final stop before London Euston. We're now well within the limits of Greater London, so let's talk about how much this ride cost. I was travelling on a flexible one-way ticket, valid on any train in off-peak hours. From Birmingham New Street to London Euston, this costs £50.50, which is pretty expensive, but I had a 1/3 discount on this with my railcard. Cheaper tickets are available if you book in advance and commit to a specific train, but I needed the flexibility today. At this point, the familiar colours of the London Overground system come into view, with the iconic London Underground following shortly after. Slowing down, we navigate the complex junctions and tracks outside of London Euston before arriving 5 minutes late at 12:59. Overall, I think these new high-speed trains are a step in the right direction, but we can still do a lot better. Despite having better seats, the ride is rough and unpleasant, and the interior design is bland and stark, and doesn't feel like a premium product, despite the price tag. Would I choose one of these over an older Pendolino? No, absolutely not. But this is still a lot better than some of the other terrible high-speed trains used in the UK, such as the GWR Class 800, which I tried in first class on a scenic journey from Penzance in Cornwall to London Paddington, an experience that you can watch by clicking up here now.